Where does Alexi go? It's just right there.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Pasadena Photography Arts. I'm PPA co-director Douglas Hill. Tonight, we'll be discussing the future of mentorship with the Bridge Program, an exciting new nonprofit membership program for emerging photographers and creatives aged 18 to 26 in New York City and Los Angeles. But before we bring our guests on, there are a few things we'd like to mention. First, we'd like to thank Tom Carmichael for so generously underwriting tonight's installment of Forum. If you'd like to find out how you can underwrite a future event such as this, please email us, which you can do. You can find our email on the website. Our next open show, Family: The Ties That The Ties That Bind, Unbind, which is our 46th open show, is currently accepting submissions through February 20th. Check out our website, pasadenaphotographyarts.org, Instagram or Facebook pages for details on how to submit your work, or recommend it to a friend you think might be interested. We have also begun accepting applications for the second annual Pasadena Photography Arts Photo Award. We're very excited that renowned gallerist Rose Shoshana of Rose Gallery in Santa Monica has generously agreed to be this year's guest juror. So if you're interested in applying or know someone who might be, go to pasadenaphotographyarts.org for further details. We look forward to seeing your applications. The deadline, by the way, is March 29th. I'd also like to mention that a new photography magazine has emerged in Los Angeles, Interpublique. I'm pleased to mention that my fellow co-director, Ellen Friedlander, and advisor, Krishna Malhotra, are featured in the second issue, along with a number of other distinguished artists. Find out more by visiting interpublique.com. And now I'd like to introduce tonight's host, and PPA co-director, Ellen Friedlander. Ellen.
Thanks, Doug. Well, I'm very happy to be here and really happy to introduce you to Liam Alexander, who is a fine artist and creative director whose intention is catalyzing social change through artistic expression. His work has been featured in gallery and exhibitions and art fairs throughout the United States and internationally. He has created projects with major brands like Wix.com, the City of New York, Samsung, SAP, and the Renaissance Hotels. Liam currently serves as the New York chapter president of the American Society of Media Photographers, ASMP, producing programming to inspire, educate, and advocate for the photography community. He is a graduate of Parsons School of Design and the creative director of the Influencers, a community of 1,000 high impact influencers from across every industry. Welcome, Liam.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. And thank you so much, Ellen. And thank you to everyone who put this program together tonight. We are so grateful, and I'm so grateful to be here. And thank you so much. So, and thanks to all of you who came out on a Monday night to hear about the future of mentorship with the Bridge Program. I know that there's plenty of places you could have been on 5:30 on a Monday. So thanks for hanging out with us. I really encourage everybody to put questions in the chat, put your hand up if you have questions or if you want to join the conversation. I really do enjoy talking, but I so much more enjoy listening, and I so much more enjoy being in dialogue with all of you. So please feel free to ask questions and to raise your hand if you have something to say or have something to share. Tonight, we're going to share a little bit about the Bridge Program, which is a program that I co-founded 4 years ago with an amazing man by the name of Justin Lin, who's the founder of an organization called BKC, which is a photography educational organization located in New York. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about the Bridge Program. And I'm really excited because we have some of our students and mentors here on the call today. So we're going to introduce you to some of our students. They're going to share some of their work and some of the projects that they produced during the program, which I know they're excited about, and I'm excited to see. And we're going to have a little bit of a roundtable where we talk about what the impact has been on them, what the future looks like, what their outlook is for the future, and things like that. So thank you again for joining us here today. And I'm going to start by just sharing a little bit about the Bridge Program itself. 4 years ago, when we started the Bridge Program, we were asking this question. And that question was about, what does it really take to make it, quote unquote, make it, right? What does that even mean? But we're not going to unwind that right now. But what does it really take to make it in the world of photography? Why do some people find success, and how come other people don't? And we really wanted to create some kind of a mentorship program to connect the current generation of working photographers with the young people that were coming up. But we wanted to also figure out, what are these barriers? What are the obstacles that are in place for young artists that are out there right?
Oh, Liam will be back in a second. We lost internet connection. So as a mentor in the program and several mentees that are here.
Hey.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Great.
All right. So right before this, we were talking about like a Zoom faux pas that have happened in in live presentations. And there you go. What happened? I just disappeared?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, welcome back.
Well, I'm happy to be back. What was I talking about? Where did you lose?
How did we get started in the whole mentoring and creating the program that you have called the Bridge Program?
Oh, yes. So, yeah, there's so many young, amazing artists that have really unique visions. They're creating work that needs to be seen. They're making stuff that is, frankly, in a lot of cases, way better than the work that I've done. And I'm really excited about it. And what the thing is that what's likely is that most of these people will never actually establish themselves for a long-term career in the photography industry. And we were asking this question of, like, why is that? What happens? And we realized there's three things that are missing for most people. And that is access, money, and time. Because the reality is photography is a very expensive industry to exist in. You also have to have the time to learn, to grow, and frankly, to fail your way up and fail your way through into success. And the last part is access. There's so many people that have amazing visions, beautiful work, but where do they show it? Who do they show it to? Who's going to support them? Who's going to teach them how to make an invoice, or how to send out an email to a prospective client, or how much to charge for a headshot? If you don't have access to any of those people that can have those conversations with you, then really you're just out of luck. So we set out to design a program that was centered around those concepts and really what we try to do is put that in place for these young people. We took a look at what can we do to create access for them, alleviate some of the money challenges, and also cut a little bit of time off of their struggle. When we were setting out to create this program, I was thinking back to my own life as a photographer, and I'll be honest, I was particularly kind of a jerk when I was younger. I thought I knew everything. I thought I was the best. I thought my work was the best, and I knew how to do things, and I was the smartest. And I think, look, as an artist, you have to have a little bit of that, because if you don't think your work is amazing and that you know how to do X, Y, Z, you're never gonna get out there and try it. But what I was really, really lacking early in my career was mentorship, was someone that really could take me under, well, perhaps nobody wanted to take me under my wing, but you know what, that was certainly something that I was lacking. And what I realized was, let's see if we can offer something that we can create that for these young people. So we set out with particular goals for the program. One of them was to build confidence, so that the students left the program feeling like they could do it, that they had what it takes. We wanted to increase awareness, so we set out to invite tons and tons of people to the program. We want to expose them to every resource and every person in every facet of the industry that we could. We wanted to give them an opportunity to create and show work so that they could actually have something tangible at the end of this. Because as photographers, what do we, how does it work for us? Well, we create something and then we showcase it to the world and we get a reaction, and that's how we get hired for jobs. We also wanted to offer them access. We asked ourselves the question, during the course of our program, how many people can we connect them to? One of the measures of success of our program is if our students actually make a real connection in the industry that they then use to accomplish something. So we also wanted them to get mentored. Let's find somebody to take them under their wing to show them a couple of the ropes. And we also wanted to make the program future-proof. And part of doing that is we designed the program around, rather than giving people information, asking questions and exploring the answers to those questions together. Because frankly, we don't have all of the answers, but we do know a lot of the questions that need to be answered. And frankly, we do have some of the answers, like, you know, when you should get your business incorporated and how to send an invoice and things like that. We do have the answers to that. But there are really big existential questions about our industry that we don't have the answers to. But what can we do? Well, we can get a bunch of folks like you guys who are industry veterans into a room, and we can say, well, let's have a conversation about that. What does it look like in this new world where we have AI? What does it look like? So and so and so forth. So that's the basic outline of the program. Mostly, it's an 8-week program of classes where the students are introduced to people and ideas that they can use to grow their work and their business. Then we have a mentorship where they mentor with a working photographer, and they take them under their wing. They can really the mandate is to help them prepare for their final exhibit, but they can do anything together. And then the entire program culminates with an exhibition of the students' work at the end of the program, where they get to show whatever it is that they've been working on. Some students show a project that they've been working on before the bridge. Some students bring in, create something new inside of the bridge. So that's a very, very long overview of what the Bridge program is and what we are out to create. And I would love to take a minute now and introduce you to some of the students from the Bridge program. But before I do that, does anybody have any questions about any of that, or any curiosities that they want to bring to the table just at this point? Super. So what I'd like to do is I would like to introduce you to a really awesome photographer. His name is Dax Lee. He's here on this call. So Dax, why don't you jump in? I would love for you. Dax is one of our graduates of the program from this last summer from LA. And I would love if you could share some of your work and what you created and talk a little bit about where the concept for this came from, what you've put together.
Yeah, so what's going on, everybody? I'm Dax. My name is Devin, but I go by the name of Dax. It's kind of a nickname, so um, there's that. For this project, I'm actually probably just going to jump right into it, to be quite honest, because there's a kind of a lot that went into this project. Firstly, when I first joined the bridge, I was kind of in almost like a limbo state of for my photography career. You know, I had ideas, but I didn't really know how to execute them or what I wanted to do or anything. And unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of people in my life that were also photographers or had, I guess, the eye that majority of photographers do, you know. And when I at that same time was kind of going through a period of wanting to study humans and more so like how they interact and everything. So once I joined the bridge and whatnot and started learning about how I can create a project from start to finish, I really wanted to take it to a deeper level and implement something that I've been thinking about for me that fascinates me. And what that kind of formed was essentially the different types of faces that we all portray throughout our lives and depending on the social setting that we're in, you know. So whether that be at work, you're in a very professional setting as compared to like on a lazy Sunday afternoon, you're going to be pretty much a completely different person. So I wanted to try and encapsulate that into one photo while also implementing mirrors. And that's basically what this was. So if you can see, there are two different mirrors in the photo, and all of them, one is black and one is white. The black mirror is considered to be the more serious side, your quote unquote professional side, and the white mirror is going to be your more fun and I guess you could say your true self. Um, for me, honestly, this entire project was, I really think, shaped me as an artist and kind of shifted me into a new direction and a positive direction. Like I said, I was in a very kind of limbo state, so I didn't know where I wanted to go with photography, how I wanted to do really any projects or anything. So this was the first time I tried pushing myself, which also included um, using techniques that I hadn't really used before. Like for example, with Photoshop, this obviously was a very post-productive photo project, to be honest with you. I think per photo, I'd probably spend about 8 to 10 hours making sure that like every little thing is, you know, looking good and everything. And so yeah, I guess I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I feel like that kind of covers everything that came with this project. I guess also I should say the models and the photos and everything, they're all different types of people all throughout my life that I implemented. Some people actually from the bridge. So I don't know if you noticed, but there was a gentleman who was actually in this call. Eli, he's the one in the white shirt. He's a part of it. Melina, she is also part of the bridge, one of the other students, and that there's the Eli. And so, you know, I just wanted to try and include every different aspects that I think has really shaped me into the person that I am today. And all of these people, I think, have contributed to that. So, yeah.
Now, Dax, can I ask you a few questions about your
Yeah.
work?
100%. What's up?
Oh my gosh.
Well, while Liam's frozen, Dax, I'll ask you. I know that when I saw your project at the show, I was really taken by it. And what I talked to your mentor, I believe your mentor had a lot to do with how it shaped. You want to
Oh,
share who he was and how he shaped your work?
yeah, 100%. Honestly, this entire project like actually wouldn't have existed without Elliot Crowley or Crowley. I forget how he pronounces it exactly. I'm not gonna lie, but he is a great photographer, especially in the commercial world. And to be quite honest, he taught me a lot of different commercial techniques that I use to implement into this project. And I think there were actually certain aspects that I honestly didn't even notice until I had sat down with Elliot and talked to him about it. So I think between that, like him giving me a creative direction, showing me different techniques and like different ways I can light the scene to make a perfectly lit scene, which I think was really cool because a little fun fact about this project, it was all shot outside. And I have actually, when talking to people about this, majority of the time people thought it was shot in studio. And that's honestly because Elliot is just very, very good with lighting his scenes. He was able to teach me his techniques about that. But I think one of the cool things about mine and Elliot's relationship is we can literally talk for hours about photography. Like, and it could honestly, like during the program, there were certain times we would just start talking about the project, and then we would end up on a rant about some other project that he had done 15 years later, and it had somewhat of a correlation, but also not at the same time. And like, I think that is what a lot of this industry as a whole is kind of missing, is just those, I guess, genuine connections, you know. And I think also the bridge has done a great job of finding those people who can make those genuine connections, like Elliot and honestly some of the other mentors in the program as a whole.
I love that, Dex. And your and Elliot's relationship really does uh, it does embody almost exactly what we really hope for. And one of the things that we're also really hopeful about, and what's really important to me about the bridge, is that um, connecting people intergenerationally. Like you said, Elliot is at the end of his career. He's had a very, very big career and done very well for himself, and he's winding down his shooting. And I just think it's amazing that he can pass on the knowledge that he's accumulated over all those years. And I can absolutely see how it made such a difference in your work. And I think that for just speaking generally, for a young person to have that opportunity, and also for somebody that has all that knowledge to have the opportunity to share it, I just think is a magical thing. So it's really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are trying to gatekeep now, and I think that is the wrong direction we need to head. And you know, like I said, those are the types of people that are going to break it. So
Can you say a little bit more about that? Because as I'm not an old person, but I've been in this industry for a while. I don't so as a young person coming into the industry, you do feel a lot of gatekeeping. Can you speak a little bit to that?
yeah, 100%. For me, what got me into photography was social media and YouTube. And I feel like that's what a lot of my generation of photographers is how they stumbled upon it. And I've noticed that the types of photographers out there who have grown exponentially on Instagram, almost kind of don't want to share what they did or how they really did anything, you know, whether that be growing their Instagram, doing a photo shoot. And I have noticed that there is a little shift, I should say, like, you know, people are starting to share a little bit more about how techniques are done and everything, which is very helpful. But I still feel like there's some things that's just being missed. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm not gonna lie, or else I would give an example. But it just seems like if somebody makes it as like, well, put hypothetical or quotations around makes it, obviously, but if somebody quote unquote makes it on Instagram and like reaches a certain milestone, I feel like that gives them an automatic ego boost, and they almost kind of don't want to help other people unless they're at that same level as them, if not higher. And so that's where I think the gatekeeping comes into play, because like, you know, you meet some of these people who have lots of followers on Instagrams, for example, and they just kind of look at you like, I don't know, like you're lower than them, just because you don't have a follower account as compared to them. And that's obviously not the case, because as we all know, art is subjective. It doesn't really, there is no right or wrong for anything on the way stuff does. It's just a matter of how we want to share our information and our thoughts You know what I mean? I think that's how we all can shape the industry. So,
Hey,
does that
Liam.
answer the question?
Liam,
Yeah.
I had a question, Liam. How do you select mentors and how do you pair them up? What's the mechanics of you selecting and pairing mentors up with the right students?
Great question. That's really great question. So we do a call for mentors, which actually I'm glad that you asked, and I'm sure that Ellen will drop it into the chat. Our call for mentors for our 2024 summer is now open. So if anybody is interested in mentoring, please submit your stuff. It's just a Google form. It's super simple. Our the application to be a mentor is much simpler than the student application. We're just curious who you are, why you want to mentor, that type of thing. And then we do a couple of interviews with the mentors just to get to know people and see, who's, see about who are these folks that want to mentor, make sure that they're like, available and things like that. And we're looking for people that, in terms of the selection process, we are looking for people that are established in their careers, but mostly we're looking for people that are excited to give back. That's the number one thing. We've had people in the program in the past that were like super, super famous, and it's not about that. In fact, those people, we found that sometimes when we've had people that we seemed like, oh, that's going to be a great mentor, but they just didn't have the time and they weren't around, So we're really looking for people that are like Elliot, that he just really wanted to support the students that he mentored, and he had a lot of love, and so we're looking for the love and the support and that in terms of selecting the mentors. How we pair the mentors up with the students is the mentors participate throughout the program, not heavily, but they join our discussions. They're invited to join us for our in-person classes to get to know the students and to help out and to contribute. As I mentioned, the classes themselves are just, we just ask a lot of questions. We have a lot of discussions, and the mentors are welcome to all of those discussions to share their knowledge. And so the students get to know the mentors get to know the students. And then at the end, we have an interview process where the students interview the mentors, and then the mentors interview the students, and then they choose who they want to be with. Whoever they resonate with is who they wind up with. We try to be we try to make the process as organic as possible rather than just like assigning people like that.
Okay, Liam, you tell everybody how much it costs the students to do the mentorship.
Oh, it's free.
So it's an application process, and you go over and you find the absolute most committed, sincerest applicants possible, and you hope that you choose those students that will really reap benefits.
Yeah, we really are. But there's a couple of criteria for the students that we select, but our number one focus is that we are looking for the tenacity. We're looking for the students that really want to, that really are pulling this thing towards them. And that's the number one thing that we're looking for. And yes, the program is free. As I was mentioning, the barriers that young people come up against, one of them is money. And unfortunately, there's so many people that just don't have the money to do a free internship at Condé Nast for like 7 years or something like that. They don't have the space. A lot of, I remember one of our guys, Josh, who was in our program, he was at like so many times he was working like while we were having some of the Zoom classes, and he'd call in and he would be like, guys, I'm with you. But and the reality for a lot of these young people, for all these young people, and we have Carter and Leah who are here that can speak on this a little bit, is like, you got to work, man. You have to pay your bills, and to then pay for more like a program like this, we just said that's not what we want. So the program is supported by donations and some amazing organizations like Sony, ASMP, and others have contributed to help us provide it for free for the students. Yeah. I would love to actually introduce Leah. Can we introduce Leah?
Where is she? There she is.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me now? You can't hear me?
We can hear
We
you,
Oh,
can.
Leah.
okay, perfect. Sorry, I was getting a call at the exact same time.
So, Leah, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone and talk a little bit about your project? I know that I don't know. I can see that you're probably on a phone or device, so you maybe can't see that we're showing it in your images right now.
Got you. I was like, is someone introducing me? Hi, everyone. I'm Leah, part of the Bridge Program on the LA side of things. So this is my final project. I did 5 self-portraits actually based on the 5 stages of grief. In the midst of our program towards the end, I did suffer the loss of my boyfriend. So as I was going through that, my project actually changed. I let my mentor know, I let Liam know, and everyone was super supportive. So this ended up being my project towards the end. Each picture is a different stage of grief. And yeah, this is how it turned out, and it turned out great. My goal for the program was to come out of the program being more authentic and showing more of myself in my project, which obviously it was under unfortunate circumstances, but with my mentorship and the guidance of all of the teachers, I was able to actually accomplish that at the end of the program. Here we are. This one was anger here. It was definitely interesting. I had never had a gallery showing of my work before, so having all of my mentors and teachers push me to still go for authenticity and to show this vulnerable side of myself, because no one has ever pushed me to do that before. It's more been just like portraits of people or like, you know, more surface level. And this project definitely got me deeper into my work, and doing this work has actually followed me into my other work that I do now. So I've definitely improved a lot since being a part of the program.
So I was Leah's mentor, and it was a very interesting experience because she was so filled with grief during most of the time with the mentorship program. And so it was a real give and take. And because I could understand and empathize with her, I didn't push her too hard, but I tried to have her understand that she could find within herself a way to express that grief. And this was a really amazing opportunity for her to do that, which she did. So, but it was not an easy process, right, Leah?
Definitely not an easy process. As I was saying, I'd never put myself out there like that. I'm so used to taking portraits of other people and telling their stories. So to construct and properly tell my story was definitely a challenge that I was very glad that I had the support to be able to do that, because it's not easy sharing your own vulnerability. But that is, you know, that's art.
That's art. And I have to say that Leah's joining us from work. She was supposed to be off, but she couldn't get off. So she's coming viewing from where she is for a brief amount of time. Thank you so much.
Of course.
We're so grateful to have you. How much longer do we have you for, Leah?
Probably like 5 more minutes. I'm good. I had to come on. I was like, no, I gotta come support my team. Everyone's been so great. I'm excited for the thought of, you know, newcomers, because this program has been definitely life-changing for me.
It gave you a network, it gave you a community, correct?
Yes, definitely. The network and community that I have. I mean, we just all went out to go to an escape room afterwards. And then, you know, Ellen was talking to me about ASMP at a coffee mixer. So I was like, oh, I can go to that for next month. So it definitely opened up doors for me. So if I ever need help with anything, I have a group of people that I can always go to who are in the industry, who are learning, who are just like me. So all different levels of help and community.
Great.
Yeah, that's the I remember when I was a young person starting out, there was, and I think that a lot of people have felt this at different parts in our careers. I mean, photography is a very lonely profession. You basically just sit behind a computer and going through images for so much of your life. And it's very, very easy for things to become very, very lonely. So I think that the idea that we can create that community and is one of the most important things that we can do. Because also it takes a really long time to establish yourself in this industry, and it takes a lot of ups and downs, and it takes a lot of trying things and them not working, and it takes a lot of doing the most important difficult thing you've ever done in your life, and then not getting the success you imagined from it, and then getting right back out there and doing that all over again. And having that community behind you is so important. So I'm really glad to hear that that's something that uh, you've gotten. Any more final words? Because I know you have to leave us, Leah. I want to.
I do have to leave you all, but I would say for anyone thinking about either mentoring or being a part of the program, it is a great program to be a part of. It has definitely shaped me in more than one ways, not even just with photography. I'm grateful to still be able to be connected to all of these beautiful people. And yeah, you guys tune in, learn more, and apply.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you. And Carter, do you have some work that you'd like to share? Oh, before you do, Kendra has a question. Hey, Kendra.
Hi. I was just curious. I didn't know if maybe one of the students in the program could talk about this too. But how the program is geared towards, or maybe it's not the right program, and it's geared towards people who haven't had necessarily an education in photo as well. I'm sorry, I'm struggling to formulate my question. How does the program help younger photographers who maybe already have a formal training in photography and are continuing to work on long form projects, but kind of lack in the ability to gain clients and get their work out in galleries and more of the business side of photo? I was curious if that's touched upon at all.
That's great, Kendra. Thank you for asking that. And you've made me realize I forgot to mention that the age range of this program is 18 to 26 years old. So we're focused on those folks that are just starting out in the industry, like not folks that are still in school. Mostly some folks are still in school, but they're on their way out of school, or they maybe didn't go to school and they're just starting out in the industry. And it's that time period where mostly we just hear, oh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, kid, like you're on your own now. And we thought this is the time that we really want to step in and begin to build community around these young photographers. So Carter, Eli, and we lost Dax. I hope he's okay.
He's okay.
And but Carter, Eli, do either of you want to jump in and let us know about or answer that question for Kendra, how you were supported in your business side of your career?
Carter, I can go first, and then if you want to add anything after, feel free.
Yeah,
Hi,
for
guys.
sure.
I'm Eli. I was a bridge student in 2022, for context, in New York, but was helping the program on the other side of things last year. And speaking as a student, when I got into the program, I felt like my work was solid, but the reason I applied to the bridge was exactly your question, Kendra. I needed more info and knowledge on how to gain clients, because I was like, I love my work, but no one's calling me. And so I realized let's find a community, and that's exactly what I got. I started learning how to invoice, how to reach out to prospective clients, how to assist other photographers, and so after the bridge program, I really felt a lot more confident in my ability as a business person in the industry, not just feeling confident about my work. And I think the biggest thing that helped that was gaining that community of not just students and mentors, but the awesome thing about this program is a lot of the Zooms and in-person meetings, we're getting really cool speakers that are also a part of this industry. So other photographers who might not necessarily be mentors, agents, you name it. And those are also people that I've gained a relationship with. And so it was really about learning how to reach out and build up these connections that I think are genuine, because this is a genuine program. So they teach you genuine skills on how to exacerbate your strengths, I guess. So yes, this program is perfect for you or anyone trying to learn more about the business side of things. So I hope that answered the majority of your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna plus one what Eli said. I think I am going to school for photography, but there's not always time in those classes for those sort of lessons. And I think that what the bridge has really helped with for me is getting all that information. Also, being part of it, you're part of the larger ASMP family and that sort of network, and you get access to all these resources, paperwork sharing, or the clinic with Tom Madry, that just really helps you when you are kind of stuck in those ways, and you feel strong maybe creatively, but you don't have the sort of practical all the way down yet.
One other thing I would like to add is I think Liam and Ellen may have touched on it, but this program is built on asking questions. And I think the best students and people that apply should be ready to put themselves out there and not be afraid to ask questions, because it's a super supportive community. But in order to answer a question or gain more knowledge, like, you have to be ready to participate. So the more you put in, the more you'll get out of it. So that is something to keep in mind, and why applicants as mentors and students, don't be shy. We encourage you to be yourself.
That's great. Yes, thank you for saying that, Eli. And I would love to, if do you have some work that you want to show, Carter? And if you don't have any, that's okay. I know this is a last minute request for you. Carter didn't prepare anything. He didn't know we were going to ask this of him.
It's all
I'd just
good.
love for people to see your project.
Yeah. Am I allowed to screen share? Looks like it. Yeah. Okay. So yes, this is the project I worked on. Part of it, at least. It was called Witching Hour. My sort of idea for it was sort of taking my background and interest in filmmaking and sort of horror and sort of gothic imagery, strange imagery, and sort of telling a story that relates sort of to my sort of like childhood fears, that sort of like fear of the dark, fear of the unknown. The way I always talked about it is like the feeling when it's really late at night and you're the only one awake in the house, and you sort of see a long dark hallway and you don't know kind of what's on the other end. And originally my idea was just these very tight portraits. That's sort of what I was working on when I first got into the bridge, and what I sort of liked. But with the help of my mentor, Christopher Kern, who I saw in the Zoom right now, he really pushed me to sort of use that filmmaking background, use the sort of idea of editing and sort of the collision of ideas to really play these pictures off each other, and build sort of a larger story around it and sort of let these pictures flow as a narrative. And I'm really grateful. And it was something that I think we actually all talked about in that last critique. And yeah, I think I'm really proud of the work. I think it's work that I wouldn't have thought to do before the bridge, and I think I was really just inspired to really sort of go for it and sort of take a big creative swing. Because before, all my work was mainly classwork and projects, and sort of directed from sort of an outside source. And I think that this was the first time I really brought it entirely out on my own. Of you know, there's no rule book, no sort of guidelines. You can just do something personal. And yeah, I'm really excited by the work still, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me creatively.
That's so great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Carter. And was this the first time that you ever did a photo series like this?
Yeah, it definitely the first time I ever did it in this way. You know, using these sort of the triptychs to tell things. Otherwise, it was more sort of like storyboarding, kind of like 10 photos that told a very linear story, but this sort of vibey, sort of evocative way of doing it, and using the sort of collision of pictures that were taken, in some cases like weeks apart, for different prompts, and then just in sort of the final selection process, we kind of realized as we're talking about it that they actually work really well together, and that there's sort of a flow to these shots. And then that's the first time I've ever done something like that.
Very cool.
Okay, you can stop sharing now, Carter.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting about the program is when you're in school, you'll do a show, but the level of the end show that these kids, a real opening, was quite substantial. A New York show and an LA show. Just watching them have to present their work, right, Liam? It's a heavy lift to go from the beginning of the project, when they first meet you and they're starting to talk about for the first 6 weeks in the summer program, they're learning all these things. They got all different kind of information coming at them. Then they meet with us, they've got their project, and then it's getting that project on the wall. And I had 2 different mentees, and both of them didn't realize that there were different ways that the work could go on the wall. It didn't have to be static. So work not having to be static, that there's different, it could have hung from the ceiling. It could have hung, been on the floor. That kind of opening their eyes to that was also part of the program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and most of the students that exhibited, I think all of the students that exhibited in LA had never exhibited their work before. So it was the first time, and that's something. Yeah, let's get everybody up here. Having the opportunity to exhibit your work is one thing, and as Ellen mentioned, having the opportunity to be the source of the exhibit in the way that they are in the bridge. I mean, it's really it's not like a school show, like, okay, send us your files or whatever. It was like, this is really, each student concepted how their work was going to be on the wall and the story that they were telling, and getting the opportunity to do that, I think, is something that you guys will find that is you probably won't get that opportunity. You may, I hope you get that opportunity very soon, but it's a really big opportunity to be able to be self-expressed in that way. And we're really happy to give that to the students. And also it's very important for the program because they get the opportunity to show their work and then invite everyone that they've met and people to that exhibit to see it. And I think that's so important because that's how you get your work out there. That's how you get known. This is how you're now known in the community as Carter's Witching Hour, right? So why don't you speak a little bit, Carter and Eli, about that? What was that experience like for you to exhibit your work in that way? And it was the first time, Carter, that you ever did that, yes? And Eli, when you did your exhibit, was that the first time you had ever done that?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
keep going. Yeah, yeah. I'll finish what my tangent was. But when I did a long-term project on the West 4th Street basketball court, basketball is very near and dear to my heart. And at the beginning of the program, I mentioned that I really liked my work, but I had really never done a long-term photo shoot and idea before. So 4 months went by and I was starting to collect a body of work, and the process of photo, because I was going almost every day to this court, the idea of photo editing to me just took on a whole new light, and I got to work with my mentor at the time, Rod, and that part was really cool. So when I selected the final pieces to go on the wall, and it's true what Ellen said, I was just like, oh, it'll go in one row, but then that wasn't what was going to happen. I realized, oh, we can tell a little bit of a story here by putting this piece there and putting that piece there. And the day of the show, like, I was honestly brought to tears because, one, my family came out to support, my best friends came out to support, and then I went through this program with the 11 other students that I was with, and I felt like this was a moment for all of us to celebrate. And not to mention, I met a lot of really cool people, a couple photographers I've worked with now as an assistant. Like, there was a lot of good networking opportunities, but it was super special to put in the amount of work I did and see it on the wall. It was one of the better moments I've had as a photographer.
Yeah, I would say same. The curation process was really fun. I think I shot like 70 or 80 pictures across this whole thing, and I really wasn't sure how it was going to work together in that process of sort of finding the story. And yeah, same. I thought it was going to go to straight hang, and then I realized that I would need like a 30-foot wall across, and there's no way that was going to work. And I was actually just trying to pull up a picture of it, but I couldn't find it in time. Of my final exhibit ended up being like everything's kind of stacked, everything's a little kind of off the middle, and I thought that was a really fun thing that when I first concepted it, never would have expected that's how it would have been exhibited, as this sort of cluster of ideas and images that all kind of flow into each other. And it was great. It was really fun to see it on the wall. I've never had work presented that way. Getting to bring out friends and family to see it. It was just a great show, and it was a great experience.
That's so wonderful. I would actually love to hear from Christopher Kern. You're on this call.
Yes, I am. Sorry for my tardiness. But
Yeah,
happy
you're
to be
okay.
here. Yeah.
So you were Carter's mentor.
I was Carter's mentor. Yes.
And how was that? I'm so curious to hear from the mentor's point of view. We've heard about Carter's experience from his point of view. Now, what about Carter's experience from the mentor's point of view?
Yeah, so I mean, Carter was definitely walked into, I think, the Bridge program with a strong interest in film and cinema, and made this wonderful black and white, very cinematic imagery. But it was all really confined to tight headshots, and the prompt was to play into the characters that he was creating. So I think as the mentorship kind of continued, building out a larger narrative, Carter rose to that occasion and was trying some new things. And one of the biggest blessings I think of Carter's project was his subject was his brother. So the brother was accessible to him. The location was his house, which was accessible as well. So I think Carter like reshot, 3 or 4 times, just to try some different angles, but we were able to really bring that imagery together and make it very cohesive, and just playing with the scale and perspective a little bit. And so Carter was an amazing mentee because he was curious, he was interested, he was very professional, and he did the work, and that's all we could kind of really ask for. So I think every critique anybody gave him, I think he applied it to the next shoot, and some shoots might have not been successful, but I think we found some imagery within it to make it work for the final presentation. So yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Just also to divulge to the rest of you all, I'm a full-time photo educator, so it was really nice to work with Carter in a tighter time frame to help him produce this work, and all the mentees. I think what an amazing project they did over the course of a couple months.
Yeah. Can we oh, did you want to ask something?
Yeah,
Ellen?
there's a question in the chat. Beata Bosworth would like to know if someone is interested in mentoring, is more on the fine art photography side rather than commercial. Do you take mentors that are in that realm? I know you do.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's we actually prefer to have lots of different mentors from different walks of life, because the students are from all different types of photography worlds, and they're interested in every student is interested in something different. So we find that it's always magical when we put the mentors together with the students. And if we have fine artists and wedding photographers and commercial photographers and headshot photographers and repertoire and report news and any kind of photographer, we'd love to have as a mentor, because it also helps the students to see that there's all sorts of different things that you can do that they might not be thinking of. So having as many folks come in and influence them with different ideas from different areas of life and photography. So yes, absolutely, we'd love to have fine art mentors.
The other question Beata asks is timing. How long is the commitment?
So the mentorship, we've actually changed it this year. We're making it so the class is from June to August, and the mentorship is from August to October, and the exhibit is going to be in October. The commitment for mentors is that they meet with their mentees during that 2-month period. We don't have we'd love if we understand that people have careers and lives. So the important thing is that the mentors and the mentees are connecting and meeting during that 2-month period. And we do encourage them to join us for some of the classes throughout the summer when they're able to, because it helps them to get a little bit acquainted with the program and the students, and also the students to get acquainted with them. And also it gives the students opportunity to get their knowledge. So we have great conversations about all different areas of the business, and anytime any of the mentors can be there is just fantastic. I have a question really quickly, Ellen. How long is the program?
Oh, we're almost done.
Oh, okay. So, but I'd love to. Can we get Sage in here? And also, because I'd love to introduce Sage, but also for her to be here to respond. Sage is our the second half of the program in LA. So her and I ran the LA program this summer, and she's extraordinary, and I just want you to be here to contribute as well, because your voice is like one of the most important voices in the Bridge program. So I'm so great to see you here, and great to have you up on stage with us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
And we have a couple more questions. Charlie and
yes. Charlie,
Hi.
yeah.
Hi. I was just wondering, Liam, you mentioned that applicants to the bridge program should be, expected to have like, a passion and a tenacity, like to learn. Is there anything else that you would say, like, should be expected of someone applying to this program, or something that they could look forward to?
Well, when one applies to the program, we ask for a written essay, not like college, not like a 12-page essay, please. Just something short about why you want to participate in the program. And we don't look for, here's the thing, this program is about access. We want to give people access to all the things that we have. And we want, our vision for the bridge is that in 5 years, the bridge is all across the entire nation, and that people are saying, oh my gosh, you got into the bridge program, or look at the new class, national class of the bridge program, right? That it will be something that is like, that it will be known all over the country, and that's our vision for it, right? So what's the point of what I'm saying? I don't know what the point of saying that was.
I can help you with that point.
Oh, thank you.
This last year, it was New York and LA, and you brought the two programs together on Zoom. So this is an amazing opportunity, because when does an LA artist, a young person, get to know people in New York that they could, grow with, and go to New York at some point and say, hey, we were in this program together? That alone is pretty significant. And so if you're going to raise this, and this is going to go across the country, just think, I know there's other vehicles for this kind of for this community, but this is one really unique one.
Yeah, and our with regards to what we're looking for in students, so we are not necessarily looking for skill. There's a certain level of skill that we do look for. Like it's a rigorous program, and we are passing the students off to mentors who are working professionals in the field right now. And there's a certain level of competence in the world of photography that has to exist before you can really fully take advantage of an opportunity like that. So yes, we are looking for a certain level, but we're very open, and we're looking to give people opportunities. We're looking for people that are very that are, as I said, tenacious, that really want it, that have that drive. Because to make it in this industry, no matter what aspect of the industry that you are working in, you really do have to want it. You have to have that drive, and that's not something that you can really teach. That has to be there. A basic level of photography as well. We're not a program that teaches f-stops and shutter speeds, and we don't do that. We teach a little bit more advanced, or we work on a little bit more advanced things. We don't really teach. We more just have conversations about things and come to conclusions. Chris, you have your hand up. Christopher Kern.
Yeah, I just want to kind of the real thing, like the expectations from a mentor would be that you as a mentee would really be willing to participate in the process, making yourself available, and really doing the work every week. Things do arise in our personal lives, or business lives, or school lives, but really taking the moment if somebody was accepted into the bridge, to really see it through. Because as a mentor, or as in Liam's role, or Sage's role, or Eli's role, like the students that are participating and active, we're able to pour so much into that conversation, and the students really evolve by participating in that process.
Totally. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome, and thank you for saying that, Kern. It's so true. That's really, and it's a tough thing to look for. So I think for anybody that's applying for the bridge, when you're talking about yourself, think about, how can I show evidence of where I've shown up in my life, where I show up, where I lead, where I take the initiative, where I do all the assignments, right? Where I'm the one that's driving the conversation. Like that type of leadership and that drive is what we're looking for. So if you can, share about times when you've done that or times where you took like that. Yeah. So I think that's some advice for anyone that is applying for the bridge. We're looking for, and we're also doing a video with the application this year. So we're having every applicant submit a short little video about themselves, because we really do want to get to know who these folks are. And it's very, very difficult. And we get tons of applications, and it's difficult to select who we put in the program. We want it to be a program that's diverse, especially with ideas. We want different styles of photography. We want different backgrounds that people are coming from, so that we can have a really robust and exciting conversation in the bridge. And that's for mentors and for students.
What is the perfect number of mentees, mentors?
Well, we're looking for 12 mentees and 6 mentors. So each mentor would have 2 mentees and 12 mentees for the program.
Great. So do we have any other questions from the audience? Let's open it all up. Nope. Are we all good? Anyways, it was absolutely, Liam, thank you so much. And thanks Dax and Leah and Carter and Sage for all being here tonight. I think the Bridge program is remarkable. I hope that everybody here could spread the word to people who are 18 to 26, who are excited about being students, as well as mentors that might be here tonight, or people that you might know that would be very interested in applying.
And I just want to thank everybody. Oh, Eli.
I just wanted to mention too, I put it in the chat, but as well as mentor applicants, we are also, the student applications are open as of today. So I put that link in there. So if you're a prospective student, click that link. If you know of people, share that link. So I did want to just say that with my voice, not just text.
Thank you so much, Eli. Eli is the heart and soul of this program. Thank you for everything that you do, Eli. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's joined us tonight. I appreciate your attention and your questions and participation. And to everyone that is thinking about applying to be a mentor or a student of the Bridge this summer, please do. The Bridge is for you. If you have questions about or if you have a feeling like, oh, that's not for me, I'm not good enough because of XYZ, just apply. Students, just apply. Even the process of applying and thinking through what you're up to, you don't have to have a project, you don't have to have success, you certainly don't have to be in college or be in school. And we've had folks that had no formal training, all the way up to people that were at very respectable art schools. So and for mentors, the same. If you feel like I'm not the right one, or maybe I don't have enough to share, or I do fine art, or I'm just a wedding photographer, you're not just anything. You are a professional working photographer, and you have so much to share. And we'd love for you to have the opportunity to share with the next generation of photographers, and to be a part of our team. So please head on over to the site. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere. And we look forward to meeting you all. Thank you so much for having us. And thanks to PPA for putting this together. We can't thank you enough for all the support and love that you've given us. And we really appreciate it, especially you, Ellen. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Good night. We'll see you for open show. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.